Hey everybody, welcome to the Big Llama Show. I'm the Big Llama. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to do a movie review. A movie review for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I am really excited to get into this. It is going to be a spoiler review, so please, if you haven't seen Shang-Chi, please don't watch the rest of this video. If you'd like, hit like and subscribe. Do me a little favor there. But we are going to talk spoilers in this, so please, if you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to ruin it for you. It is amazing. All right, let's get right to the movie review. Here we go.
It's SINA. She ruckus. Deadbeat. Let's go. You ain't a killer, boy. Stop. I hear you yelling stacks on deck.
Once again, welcome back to the Big Llama Show. I'm the Big Llama. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, we're going to do a movie review for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It is a spoiler review. Again, I keep saying it's spoiler review. I don't want to spoil this for anybody. Before we get to that, make sure you like and subscribe to this video. When you subscribe, come remember the Llama Nation. If you hit that bell notification, you'll know when we post videos and we do live streams and other types of content. If you like the custom shirts that we wear, hit us up in the link in the description for Wrigley Roo Designs. Get your custom shirts. All right, let's get right into the movie review. Here we go. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is rated PG-13. Its runtime is 2 hours and 12 minutes. As it's written, says Shang-Chi, the master of unarmed weaponry-based kung fu, is forced to confront his past after being drawn into the Ten Rings organization by his father. The director is Destin Daniel Cretton, and it stars Simu Liu, Awkwafina, Tony Chiao Wang Leung, and a host of others in this all-Asian-inspired cast. Before we get into the actual bits and pieces of the movie, I just want to say a couple of things. First things first, the perspective on which I bring my movie reviews. They're from the perspective of a casual fan. I'm not a die-hard comic book collector or avid reader of comics. I am pretty much the basic standard fan who enjoys movies. Now, I have seen more movie than most people, I think. But again, I'm not an expert in this, so this particular review is strictly my opinion on what I thought of the movie. And again, I don't get into the nuts and bolts, the nitty gritty, or the breakdowns of Easter eggs. I leave that to the experts like the new rock stars and EA Voss and those guys. But again, I just want to tell you about this movie because I thought it was amazing. Let's get right to it. First of all, let's talk about Simu Liu's introduction to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Shang-Chi. And yes, it is Shang-Chi, not Shang-Chi. And there is a particular scene in the movie that describes sort of how you say the name about this movie, because I thought this movie was amazing. The Shang-Chi character is one I knew nothing about. Again, I'm from the perspective of a common fan. I don't know a lot about these Marvel characters other than the main bases, and oh my god, I was blown away. Now, the one thing I will say about this movie is I didn't think, like most other MCU movies, I think of the larger universe, and I think of, okay, how will this character interact with another character, or when will I see this character? So for example, when will Captain America deal with Iron Man, and so on and so forth. In this one, the origin story is so good, and the storytelling is so good, you forget you're watching a Marvel movie. It is a fantastical, imagined universe, ripe with kung fu and ripe with Asian inspiration, and just amazing, just an amazing story. Now, I got to see this in the IMAX theater, which to me is the best out there. Again, others could argue with me about that, but I would say if you go to an IMAX theater, this is the way to experience this movie. The visuals are so breathtaking. The visuals are so amazing. And the camera work and the fight sequences and the choreography that you get swept away. And seeing it in an IMAX theater with the largest screen possible is exactly what you should do. Trust me on this one. I would highly recommend that. That's how I watched the movie. Not to mention the sound. The sound design on this was amazing. Now, I want to talk about some of the breakout stars. Now, I had tweeted about this and I had said that Awkwafina kind of stole the show. And here's why I say that. I wasn't expecting a whole lot from Awkwafina. I was expecting a lot more of the comic relief, and I got that. But there was some more depth to her acting and the depth to her character that really swept you up in her experience. And she made for a pretty interesting love interest for Shang-Chi, because it wasn't the traditional love interest. She was spunky, she had attitude, and she could hold her own. And I like that. It's refreshing to see that. It's not Shang-Chi always coming to her rescue. She held her own in especially the pivotal battle sequence at the end. I was just very surprised by her performance. And that's why I say she stole the show. I was totally expecting one thing and got something completely different. Pleasantly surprised. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was great. So Awkwafina, my hats off to you. Amazing performance on that part. I would be remiss, obviously, if we talk about Shang-Chi himself, Samuel Liu. The guy just has a likability about him. A real character who you want to root for. Not just a character because he's a character. He is charismatic. He draws your attention. And so he really makes this movie go. There's heart there. And the heart is felt from the beginning. Even the characters that were played from him as a child, as a small child, and even the teenage years, they were just such great actors coming through that really built up the story. So again, I have to take my hat off to Samuel Liu, and that was just an amazing. And I might be saying his name wrong, so please forgive me on that. But just an amazing character. Now, the gentleman who plays his father, Tony Chiu Wang Leung. That guy has such an amazing arc in this movie. Again, this is a spoiler review, so we're talking spoilers. You feel for him. At first you're thinking, okay, this is the prototypical bad guy. He gets power and he wants to take this power and rule the world with it, and then meets a woman and meets Shang-Chi's mom, who brings him back to humanity, brings him to a bit of humanness to him. There is one thing about this movie that I didn't like, and only because it seemed like Shang-Chi's father was such a brilliant character and a very intelligent character that I would wonder why just hearing the mere presence of his ex-wife or his deceased wife's voice would make him do some things like go out and try to get this creature to be escaped. That's my only nitpick of the movie. I didn't like that part because it seemed like he was a much more intelligent character and they really needed a plot device to get that out, and maybe that was it. And so that's my one thing I would say I didn't like about the movie. Now, the one character that I enjoyed the most in this movie was Meng'er Zhang's character, or Zhao Ling, which is Shang-Chi's sister. And really, I love her story and I love her message, which is, if I won't be seen, then I will make myself seen. And so that was a clear message. And even my son, who's 13, as we're watching this, had commented that there's the message right there, that she was not seen. She wanted to be seen. She wasn't in power. She got herself into power and didn't need anybody's help to get there. And that's a great empowerment story. But her character is just plain badass. I mean, she has a Fight Club ring, and in the end, spoiler warning again, in the end, she has taking control of the 10 rings. And so to me, that she's going to be a pivotal character in the future, and it's not a throwaway character. It's one that they can come back to, and she is a force to be reckoned with, and it's going to create lots of conflict for Shang-Chi in the future, especially if her purpose is to gain more power. Definitely a good struggle to have, a great setup for a potential sequel, and again, could be used in a different way down the line. What's not to say about Michelle Yeoh? Michelle Yeoh is an icon, a Hong Kong cinema legend, a masterful fighter, actress, powerhouse. And sure enough, she takes full force in the second half of this movie, the third act or the fourth act. She takes over, and really, I think this was the best setup for her, because she has the ability and the power, just in a couple of glances, a couple of interactions, to really steal the movie and be the main character. And she becomes the main focal point at the end in the last battle sequence, which was amazing. And so for me, Michelle Yeoh was used very well and put in the right places to really shine. And again, she is such a great actress that she doesn't outshine the cast. She makes the contributions that she needs to make and really puts an impact and a stamp on this movie, which was amazing. Now, saying that, her fight sequences, her choreography, just her style is just amazing to watch. All right, let's talk about this movie in general. In general, the movie for me gets a 10 out of 10. It's an A+. I really did enjoy the movie. I thought the sequences were great. There were when the movie slows down and it goes into character development, it's well worth it. It's worth your time. It's worth the energy, and it really helps develop the movie and move it along. There are obviously cameos in the movie. You have Wong from Doctor Strange, and you have Abomination, which played a smaller role than you might have thought from the trailers. And again, it was not the focal point of the movie to bring in these characters. Now, the post-credit scenes, the two post-credit scenes that they had, the first one introduces Bruce Banner, but now it's not Professor Hulk. It is now Bruce Banner, now shrunken down to his normal size, and you can definitely tell he's got injuries still from Endgame. And so that was refreshing. And then you have Captain Marvel. Both of them were cameos in the post credits, but really as hologram images. And so I can see there that we have a bit of a team up that can potentially happen, and they're introducing him and bringing him to the new world of the Avengers. And so that's a great transition for Shang-Chi. The second post-credit scene brings in Shang-Chi's sister taking over the 10 Rings, which to me sets up a perfect sequel. Definitely conflict that Shang-Chi is going to have to deal with in the future, and it really, really does the job of intrigue and setting up more. So you have Shang-Chi in the first post-credit scene being introduced to the larger cinematic universe, which is great. Now he can go into different parts of that, and now you have a potential background of a sequel with him and his sister in conflict. So again, very, very great, very, very good move. Enjoyed it tremendously. Let me know what you think in the comments. I enjoyed this movie tremendously. I thought it was great. It's amazing. 10 out of 10, A+ rating from me. It's one of those movies that lives up to the hype. There was so much hype for this movie going into it that I was a little bit nervous, saying, "Whoa, what if I don't feel the same way?" I've now done a couple of trailer reactions and things where the things were so overhyped that I sort of felt disappointed. And guess what? This movie did not disappoint. It actually delivered on everything that I was looking for, and then some. Do definitely recommend that you go see it in an IMAX theater or the biggest screen possible with the best sound. Go for it. Go see it next weekend if you haven't seen it this weekend. If you've seen it this weekend, go see it again. Me and my sons are going to go try to go see it again next weekend. Definitely, it's completely rewatchable. There's so many things that happened in the movie that you want to see it again. So again, definitely recommend it. Let me know if you like this video. Let me know if you like this review. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you know when we post videos. Become a member of the Llama Nation. Once again, thank you so much for joining me on this movie review for Shang-Chi, The Legend of the 10 Rings. Great movie. Definitely recommend it to everybody. I'm the Big Llama. This is the Big Llama Show. Peace out.
Yeah, I tell her, baby, you're the one for me. Never two unless you telling me you feel it too.